Welcome back to a bit more Hexarchy. As today, I'm trying a small experiment. Several people have mentioned running out of time in multiplayer, and looking at the leaderboard and talking on the official Discord, there's a surprising number of ex-StarCraft players that have been doing well in Hexarchy. And I've noticed that the turn-based with an aggressive turn timer on it definitely gives this real-time strategy adjacent feeling to it. So as an experiment, I've got a actions per minute tracker, an APM counter, but I'm going to be finding out how hard is it to actually play Hexarchy, as this is an experiment for me as well. I don't know how this is going to go. Let's see, this spawn. Oh, that's a ton of resources right here. I love this spawn. Here or here. Let's try... Here gets me better vision, but it's going to be harder to get access to the marble. Well, here is going to get me access to both. Let's go with the vision for now. Oh, that vision worked out nicely. And then see what happens. Burn the firewood. I want to get a settler here if possible. No settler in opening hand. Redraw that. So, in StarCraft and other real-time strategy games, it's actually really intense in order to get through an entire bit of gameplay. Like, we're looking at people getting over 120 actions per minute, but oftentimes 60 is pretty normal for especially weaker, lower end StarCraft. I can either get mobilize. The last card in the deck is mining, which would be wonderful for especially this spot. I think that's worth it. Drawing with a hammer, burning one more card, probably. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be doing fighting immediately, so let's get rid of the charge. Draw the mine, get this. Put this down. Now I've got iron to defend myself with, as well as luxuries to buy stuff with, notably this horse. I don't see any horse pastures nearby. Will get me immobilized for future settlers. And this guy, working a ton of hammers, although not enough food to actually grow Moscow next turn, means that I'm going to be getting 7 production on turn 2 is really good. So StarCraft and other real-time strategy games, frankly their hardest problem is that they're too hard to play them. The level of insanity. Okay, so we've got one person I know in this game as well. They're playing France, and they were able to sell food on turn 1. If I want to get another settler out, I'm going to have to put this guy down. So StarCraft's main problem is that it's too hard. Hexarchy solves that by just being turn-based. But especially if you've been watching some of my previous videos, there's a lot of turns where I'm just slinging cards out constantly. So this is a bit of an experiment to see just how important that actually is. This way I can actually build another unit out of here. I'd rather have money, although I'd also rather have hammers to play cards. Bit of a can't win either way. Mine and settler are both in the deck. I can draw one time with hammers and still be fine. Warehouse, nope. Actually, getting... Ooh... I guess I'm selling off this iron to draw the card. Okay, so this mine is super important because I can put it down here, get this stone, use the science from burning a card, get this library, which is going to dramatically accelerate my late game options. And if I also burn my other late game military card, strength, I've gotten rid of both charge and strength from the starting deck. I really hope I'm not fighting anyone. This gives me a crazy strong late game going forward. Although I didn't get a chance to mobilize the settler off of animal husbandry. And Moscow isn't going to be working this extra set of hammers from the mine either, so it's very much a long-term, slow economy game I'm currently playing. So, keep getting distracted because Hexarchy's a bit too interesting. As much as I'd like to do videos where I pre-record it and have a script talk over it, frankly, it takes forever to edit those. I'm sorry, but if you've ever tried editing videos from scratch, it is a huge commitment. So apologies about me having to talk live while also playing. Keeps getting me distracted from the thought process of saying. So it turns out that StarCraft is hard. Let's see. Double marble is wonderful for late game, especially getting monasteries out. Yeah, it's worth it here to get access to double marble as compared to here for getting access to the harbor and single marble. Here is probably a better late game play. well as here for more resources, because currently the problem I'm running into is a number of cards I'm actually drawing that I could play. From the hut, I got another settler. Animal husbandry, I'm going to be able to mobilize the settler and get him immediately. Well, if I'm running low on cards to play, then I should go put a settler out that can get access to water tiles to just get me money. Okay, library. Ooh, actually, this is... Ooh, I can't, though. I can, though. Okay. So I saw masonry pyramids. Drop it here, get access to all 3 of these resources. But I needed 1 more stone. The mine got the stone, but blocked the pyramids. But this way, I can do fishing hunter-gatherers into foraging, lay the stone down, masonry, drop those pyramids, boom. I didn't get the second marble, but that's fine. But now I actually can. This settler that was going here, I can actually put it on top of this marble. The pyramid's still going to gather it. This way I get access to the ocean tile for access to harbor, as well as a slightly better space for the guy to work on. France is selling a lot of this. Well, I'm not going to need the mine anymore. Dude. I got distracted and didn't use out my full turn. Hexarchy is interesting because the big problem with real-time strategy games is that they're too hard because they're too fast. Hexarchy in multiplayer, if the timer gets you into that feeling of like rapid multitasking, but without the extreme difficulty. Like in many ways, you can't really play StarCraft with an APM of less than 60. And like at most, I'm getting into an APM of around low 40s. So like, you physically could not play StarCraft this slowly. Like, you just lose. I'm not going to need Axemen this game, despite the double stone, because I've got the iron going to make iron units with it. A big thing I was talking about was getting these harbor spaces on these cities. Boom, boom. Which is going to get my economy really dramatically flying. Another thing that makes Hexarchy interesting compared to real-time strategy games is that, well, you don't have to fight. In, like, StarCraft, you must murder your opponent every single time. Here, you can, like, kind of play this, like, slow, intentional, careful game out of stuff, and just enjoy life while you're doing it. But here, Kazan, I want you to grow up a little bit of food, but not too fast. Paganism, get a statue of Zeus. Can't put a city down here, although that would have been a great lighthouse space. Here's another good great lighthouse space. Woodworking doesn't get me anything useful. I'm low on hammers. Woodsmen would actually be wonderful for getting me out of this corner if I want to fight, but I don't want to fight. Yikes, this is still crazy expensive food, but it might be worth it to get a settler out here or here for more money. I'm like running into card draw problems. I also want to get rid of this guy, but I don't know if I have a good way to do it. Pasture agriculture also helps solve money problems. I'm not using any of this iron, so I guess I can just afford to buy the food to play the settler the old-fashioned way. Okay, who's this? I would rather you be working hammers, get me to play more cards. Agriculture, not yet. Road is actually a really good late-game card here because I've got double stone working out the pyramids, which lets me road through this difficult terrain. A lot of civs won't be able to do. And this guy is going to end up paying for itself because that food would be worth 2 gold. Now it's just making 2 gold per turn per turn. I don't think I can do anything else with... I can sell the science for a horse, but I don't think that's necessary. I would like to kill this scout. Because this is a 1v1 lobby, and there's a France player with a scout on strength that prefers sitting on a pasture, I bet this is a bot. Kind of think of them as neutral barbarians in most 4X strategy games. So I think that's the most I can do. I'm going a heavy economy build, so my deck is a little bit thick right now. But that's fine. Like, Hexarchy, turn-based, you don't have to have hardcore mechanics in order to play it. But I'm kind of testing that right here with this APM timer counter right now. Like, I'm trying to prove that you can't really play StarCraft with less than 60 APM, but you can probably play Hexarchy with, like, maybe 30 APM, but I don't know. Have to measure it and find out how it plays. So here gets me access to another high-value tile, while also getting me water access. Down here, I've got plenty of water access. There's another good spot for a settler, but this guy's going to claim more more cultural spaces, which turn into victory points late game. Let's see. With science, cheap science, I can burn and turn this also cheap marble. I think I can get away with burning mobilize with 3 philosophy. Tab, use hammers to pay for philosophy. Use science bottles to pay for theology. State religion, grab the most important wonder for culture games. Pay for it with marble. Boom. Drop that. Great Lighthouse, I mentioned this would have been a great lighthouse space. So Hexarchy, despite being easy, is also hard at the same time. That's kind of what makes it beautiful. Okay, I do need this great lighthouse space. I don't think I'm building any lumber mills this game. Actually... yeah, here, I'm not going to be building lumber mills this game, so these 2 spaces getting the Great Lighthouse buff is going to be massive. Can I get Settler out? I've got cheap food on the market. Because of a harbor, I now have much cheaper access to this French trading partner. It was previously costing 6 gold in order to reach the settler. Now it's only costing 2. Now I can get the Settler out for cheap. Let's see. Novgorod, because I can then drop 1 food out in order to immediately get the character back, put him back onto the ocean for the Great Lighthouse bonus. Can I get anything more out of these cards? Boom. Harbor. Wonderful. Put in defensive location. Ultimates. Hold on to that food for next turn. I kind of want to hold on to all of this. Shoot. I'd love to burn a card in order to play either Forage or Resiliency. I guess I'm burning Resiliency to play Forage out. Because this gold is going to be super useful late game, and because I've only built the 1 library so far, and I haven't been able to put down monasteries for their science income, getting the access to the science is going to help me out in the mid-game. This science is effectively worth 2 hammers, which is something that's hard to come by, actually. Like, it's relatively hard to turn resources gold into hammers directly. You can do it indirectly, but it's a little bit tricky. Alright, let's see. Boop. I'd love to get this space. So getting into currency for Annex and East India Company, this is my win condition right now. I'm already halfway there on points because I got such a high-powered spawn off the pyramids. Did I burn the mine? I did, so I'm only getting 1 marble per turn, so this is more of a stone game than a marble game. I'd love to get both of these down, and then here, this Arabia space, if this is a... So there's 1 human player in this game. If this is Arabia, they're now threatening Kazan, I have to defend. Mathematics doesn't get me this because I have to go down the woodworking tree. Although Mathematics Education, I can get a Cossack this turn. Can I afford it? I've not burnt a card yet this turn. Well, I'm not going to need God King. So with this, it's going to cost me 12 hammers. Yikes, I have to burn a lot of cards in order for that to be a good play. To get this Cossack out. Compared to if I just find Holy Warrior and Swordsman, then I'm also in a good spot still. The U, I want access to this space, and I'd like to get more tiles controlled, so here. Well, Novgorod is just making me settlers and money, so I can hold this. There we go. Okay, so here, Swordsman on Royal Guard, defend Kazan. And then I've got some cheap food off of the harbors, which it's subtle, but the harbors dramatically expand the number of options on the market. And then here, this guy can now survive 2 attacks in case there is like a musketman rushing out of this fresh city built here. Assuming there even is a city built there. And now I can play like really slow, really late game and slow. Alright, so with this stone, I can get 1 more library out. Boom, that's producing culture. You can Itza, this is just another wonder. Up here to reduce the maintenance cost of these high-end cities. As I'm running low on time in the top left. Let's see, there's relatively cheap marble, so buy that marble, get the wonder out. As this is just a drop wonders down as quickly as possible game. Forge, marble, monument here. Anyone need 1 food? Don't think so, but someone could use 3 food. Get it onto hammers. Okay, that's the best I could do. But, like, even then, I keep mentioning that StarCraft is harder than Hexarchy by a long margin, and yet I'm still running out of time with more options to think through. So, this is kind of like the beautiful bit of Hexarchy being easy hard. Like, it's hard in an intellectual capacity, in decision-making under pressure, but it's easy from a mechanical property because, like, it's turn-based. If I misclick the settler, I can, like, do this all day, artificially boosting the actions per minute in the top right now, when I've got all the time in the world to undo my mistake and just build the city. Okay, France settler put hilariously aggressively stuck in between this spot with only marble and a... Given it's a really nice food space, but I still haven't been able to identify who the real player is. It's probably either this Egypt player with an aggressively positioned archer, because normally the bot scouts will move back and forth between pastures rather than just sit on one spot, or it's this French player who is coming out aggressively from the woodworks. See, I don't actually have any more good spots to put this fishing hut down without annex plays. Yeah, just here, get me more money. So I think I'm good with fishing hut. I don't need courthouse with the wonder going. Marble monastery is massive for getting culture going here in Kazan. Let's see, woodworking. I'd love to get a unit to defend here, and it's inside of Royal Guard range because you can see that from Moscow we've got 1, 2, 3 spaces, so this is all in Royal Guard range, so I should be able to defend easily there, but I need to find a unit to defend with. Monument would be lovely if I get all 3 of these cities, but I think this is the best spot I can find for it, but I need a unit first. I want to hold on to Catapult because I've got all the cheap stone flowing. So here, I need to get St. Petersburg's big. I've got extra money, spend it on food, free food, swordsman. They built this city. Okay, so this is the real player. France is the real player. Hereditary rule, get Royal Guard on the swordsman. This will now survive a standard musketman charge, or in this case, an Imperial Guard. I only need as many libraries as I've built so far. I can forage for 1 more marble. I don't think I need it. I'd rather spend hammers on this monument. Here is going to get 3 cities. 3 cities. Yeah, 3 cities here. Actually, here, if I put the settler there, this monument's going to get 4 cities. That's huge. Holy Warrior. I'd like to actually get a unit from Moscow and charge it, potentially. I don't have tactics on hand. I'm only getting 1 marble per turn, so I'd rather spend that marble on... Okay, Spearman here. Throw Moscow back. I'd like to get rid of the scout that's blocking the high-value pasture. Sell this. Can I find Tactics? Tactics is the next card. Not going to be able to build the settler this turn. Go is too slow. Tactics, charge this guy, because now I'm running out of time. Holy Warrior him as well. Catapult, set it up to defend St. Petersburg in case something crazy happens. Dude, I've got a ton of stuff that I haven't spent yet. Yikes. Boom, boom, just put the mosque out for more points. Yeah, I'm talking too much and not playing enough and running out of time. I'm convinced that this was not the best use of my hammers, but, like, I panicked and didn't have anything better to do. Oh no. Time to fight, as we have a... Barracks is coming out with access to Imperial Guards. There's the Imperial Guards. There's Egypt being conquered. France is the real player. So here, I have Statue of Zeus. France doesn't, but they have access to barracks, as we saw up here. So, frankly, the best play I can make right now is actually woodworking up to construction and get and get the Great Wall out for defensive purposes. So, architecture, Great Wall. I actually want to spend hammers on this in order to get Great Wall out cheaply. Here, put the Great Wall in a safe location. Boom. It's now going to be harder to move into the space. Now I'm going to have a Holy Warrior, double Holy Warriors defending Kazan. I want 2 units out of St. Petersburg. I'm going to need the Forge in the discard to do that, so I'm shuffling. Barber, go find more cards. Boom, tons of iron. Well, here's one of the units. Well, I need to get St. Petersburg big as well. I can actually get logistics barracks out. That's interesting. Here, the whole reason I did that is this kill right here is to get this food coming out. So now I can build cities up big and fast. Let's see. I've got double iron, so I can play double iron units. Let's play swordsman, spearman. This spearman's going to move here to defend the horse pasture. In case, because like this horse pasture is what's going to give me my late game. Access to Cossacks is like the unique Russian thing. I think we don't have any more room for monuments, so here I can get up to 4 and put a Cossack out. Okay, I want to build 2 units out of St. Petersburg. Let's put 1 unit here in order to block with. He's not going to have access to Royal Guard anymore. But I should have access to Holy Warrior still in the deck. Yeah, there's Holy Warrior. Okay, so Marble, this is my late game plan. I need this Forge first, so Forge, Monastery, now I can build a 2nd unit of St. Petersburg, use the food to give it back access. I'd love to get up to Cossack. Did I burn not enough stuff? Can I not actually afford to get Cossack out? Yikes. Well, it seems too slow. Can I actually end the game right now? Because this is going to be plenty in order to defend St. Petersburg with. Especially if I Royal Guard one of them. Can I get 5 more points on this turn? It's going to be tricky. Catapult's too slow, too slow. Too slow, too slow, too slow. Patient, Great Library. That's a crazy number of hammers. I'm not going to happen this turn. Okay, logistics, military dictatorship potentially gets another unit recruited. Although I think I'm kind of okay. So I've got everything defended, but I don't have the points needed to finish the game this turn. It's going to be concerning. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put you here. Subtle, but now my cities are going to grow in enough population this turn, assuming I don't lose any, so that start of turn I'm going to have 100 points. And with the Great Wall, it's probably going to disrupt... Yes, it disrupted attempts to get through here. But I lost 3 tiles. Is that going to be enough to lose out on the 100 victory points? Oh, the body block from the bot settler? Okay, so they've got strength on these Imperial Guards, so Royal Guard isn't enough to defend. It has to be Holy Warrior in particular. So let's see if 4, 5. Okay, so this extra 5th population grow was enough to offset the 2 points I lost from these Imperial Guard Conquistador moves, as well as the huge amount of culture just grabbing spaces. And with that, Jing Sparkle Sparkle. I did get pretty lucky that game. Oh, actually against Addon. Addon's one of the best players on the leaderboard right now. Like, you'll see that I get a ton of rating points from this match as soon as it loads. Like, 20 is actually really good for a win. And like, you'll see right here that Addon has actually been doing extremely well on the leaderboards, the 2nd highest points in the game, while I've only got this measly little 9 down here. Which, slowly getting there, slowly grinding up the numbers, but like, yeah, you need a lot of games in order to reach the top of the leaderboard. So, yeah, this game, I did get lucky with this perfect pyramid spawn, like, stone, stone, marble, marble, iron, and a luxuries in order to draw for the deck. This is like one of the best ways in order to have a late game powerhouse civilization. while it looks like add-on has actually been doing this a lot, it seems like matchmaking and the meta for multiplayer has gotten very violent recently. We see that Paris into Orleans. Orleans is like aggressively placed in such a way that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, you could get here in one move, but it's hard to get the vision in order to pull that off. But like Orleans is placed aggressively to get close to this array of the Persia bot's placement. Tours is also placed aggressively to get easy access to Passagard. Lyon is placed here almost purely so it could attack Memphis and Heliopolis. So inside of the tech tree, every single civilization gets a unique unit when they reach a specific time period. In this case, I'm playing Russia, I get access to Cossacks. So there's only two civilizations in the game that have access to a late game Renaissance unit, and that is Russia's Cossacks and France's Imperial Guards. So the thing that makes the Cossacks and Imperial Guards interesting is the fact that if you want to get this 35 strength the old-fashioned way, you have to get to gunpowder. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7, and then engineering is hard to get access to because you have to get construction, which is 8, 9, construction woodworking, as well as metalworking, 11, 12, 13, as well as mathematics, 14, 15, 16. You need 16 science, 32 hammers, just to unlock Musketman. The first Musketman you play costs effectively 40 hammers. I barely got 23 that game. 40 hammers in order to play a single Musketman. However, in order to get the Renaissance, in order to get the unique units, the Cossack and the Imperial Guard, you just have to get to the Renaissance time period. So you've got two better options down here in either currency or advanced tactics, as I almost went for a currency play that game. Advanced tactics is usually what you see from people who are using either Russia or France to do basically a late game aggressive rush. So advanced tactics needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of logistics, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of mathematics and tactics, 12. So it only costs 12, 24 in order to get Imperial Guard actually costs 10 hammers to build the first one. So it only costs 34 hammers in order to get the first Imperial Guard out by going down advanced tactics or down currency. But the reason to get advanced tactics is you have access to barracks in order to remote spawn units who are auto-mobilized with extra promotion slots so you can have both conquest and charge, or conquest and strength, which is how my first swordsman who had a Royal Guard on him, yeah, that was the one guy I played Royal Guard on, couldn't survive this hit from the Imperial Guard, while a base 35 power musketman, the swordsman with Royal Guard on it actually survived and won the fight. So this barracks, for the double promotion slots that auto-mobilizes and remote spawns to be closer to people, is the reason why this Imperial Guard is so terrifying. And you only get that by going down access to logistics. Because if you have to get logistics as well as musketmen to be crazy, then you're just having to go through all this extra tech in the middle of the tree in order to get there. But this way, a France player could, in theory, burn everything up here, because you don't need a melee unit to take cities if you already have a melee unit to take cities. Russia can't get away with this, because the Cossack, being mounted cavalry, cannot capture. It says right there on the card, cannot capture, as I am so good at drawing live. Let's do this. So, if I were to rush Cossacks as Russia, I have to burn the city down and can't capture it. So if I want to get the huge chunk of victory points, which is what France was trying to do by sending all of these aggressive units to take over my territory, I wouldn't get access to, let's say, conquering Memphis. So Memphis here, just because it's a little bit hard to see the French borders, I'm going to highlight them. So here is French borders that were tied to Memphis. So Memphis right here, this city is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, plus 5 from the holy site for 11.5, plus 4 from the population. This city is worth 15 victory points by itself. While on the Russian Cossacks, if I have to burn it down instead of capturing the city, I only get 4 victory points. So having access to a melee unit like the Imperial Guard means you get way more victory points for succeeding at your attack. So if I'm doing the same strategy as Russia, I can't burn all the stuff in the center. I have to have at least a melee unit, preferably swordsmen or musketmen, but even axemen or the basic warrior from the starting deck is enough. But like, as Russia, I have to keep this section of the tech tree in order to, even if I'm going down to advanced tactics for Cossacks. Advanced tactics is where the conquistador is. While France can legitimately burn this, burn this, burn this. Don't burn fishing. It actually has a bunch of really good cards in it, like Harbor. Harbor is potentially what actually won me the game there, letting me get the economic victory just before France's came knocking down in the middle of winter. So France can just burn all of this technology from the tree because they don't need a melee unit to capture cities. If I'm doing a Cossack rush, I at least have to hold on to an axeman, preferably bigger than that. So the French military rush can be a lot more streamlined than any other civilization in the game, just going straight for remote spawn, mobilize, extreme speed in the form of forced march, as well as conquistador to just grab your stuff immediately, and getting the Imperial Guard off of advanced tactics all in one straight shot. That said, you can survive it. Like, Add-on didn't win that game. In fact, they were good 30 points shy. Because, like I said, Memphis was worth about 16 victory points. They'd have to capture 2 more Memphises in order to win that game. Is there even another Memphis? So, Mecca didn't have a holy site on it, although the Hanging Gardens is probably worth nearly as much. So let's say that Mecca is worth 15 points without counting it. But, like, Medina's not worth 15. Persepolis, actually, this probably is worth 15 because it's got a holy site on it, so it grabbed a bunch of extra spaces early on. So, in order for France to win, they would have had to take both Mecca and Persepolis, or just Moscow, because Kazan is a little bit too low value because of how many units were built out of it. It didn't have the population to make up for it.